for anyone out there fundraising, money is out there, but just be prepared for how long it takes.
Right.
Start early. Absolutely start
Hmm.
early. যে যদি মনে করো তোমার 10 months runway আছে, you start like 15 months before.
All right. Good afternoon, Yawar and Rosina. Welcome to Money Square.
Hello, how are you?
I'm
Hey,
fine.
Mustafizur.
Hi,
How you
Yawar.
doing?
Good. তোমাদের সাথে গত সপ্তাহে দেখা হয়েছে, so it's good to see you again. তোমার যদি ছোট করে একটা introduction দিয়ে দাও, Rosina, you can go first.
Hi, my name's Rosina Mazumder, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Arogga. The company's been going for about 3 years now. I have a background in investment banking and consultancy before moving into entrepreneurship and now startup world.
Nice. Yawar?
I'll go. Yeah. Hi, Mustafizur. Hi, everyone. আমার নাম Yawar Mehboob. I am the CFO of Arogga. As Rosina said, we've been going for 3 years. We are a health tech company that is trying to disrupt and change the health tech ecosystem in Bangladesh.
And disrupt you will. We're betting on it.
Yeah, we are too. We're betting on it too.
So ওই তোমাদের বিজনেসে আসার আগে আমি যেটা করব, কিছু টাকা নিয়ে কথা বলবো, বিকজ দিস শো ইজ অ্যাবাউট মানি স্কোয়ার, অ্যান্ড যে ফাউন্ডারে আসে তাদের থেকে আমরা কিছু মানি ফিলোসফি নিয়ে জানতে চাই। তো রোজিনা, প্রথম কোয়েশ্চেন হচ্ছে যে হোয়াট ডাজ মানি মিন টু ইউ?
I think money to me is like a tool that gives you access to things. And I really think that's all it is. It allows you to do certain things, and how you spend your money is basically it's a tool. That's how I kind of see it as an overview.
Sure. Yawar? Different?
I think similar to Rosina is a tool, but what it satisfies for me is my wants and desires. To philosophical gele, that it is a tool it's a device and a tool to get what I want to satisfy. Now, my material needs might be in the future, money might hold different value for me because my wants and desires is something else. So right now, it is a medium and a tool to get to what I want from material things from life.
Sure. Story. So এখন we are at তোমরা দুজনে একটা certain stage in life. এখন যদি তোমাদের 20 বছরের রোজিনা এবং ইয়াওয়ারের সাথে দেখা হয়, what money advice you will give?
I think for myself, my parents really did drill in the concept of saving a lot, and I think maybe my personality is that I really wanted a lot of stuff, but I was so indecisive that I would never get it because I was always saving for that rainy day. That rainy day never really came, or the rainy day came and went, and I felt sad because I never bought what I really wanted.
Right.
But when I look back on everything now and how lucky I've been to have the careers I've had and to being able to have got all the things I wanted that I purchased with money, I think for me, I value paying for experience over a material object. Obviously, it's nice to have nice things, but I feel the value that I get now from paying for a meal with friends or a trip or a holiday or something that is far more experiential than tangible is something that is a higher priority for me. And I wish I kind of did more of that as a younger person. I think it was more about collecting objects or needing things that potentially I probably didn't need. But yeah, the paying for experience over a material object is something that I would definitely tell my younger version of myself.
Great advice. Yawar?
I think our thought about this has changed throughout the years, that what should I give young people advice when people ask advice. Like, I never got any money advice from anyone, so I had to learn the hard way. I didn't have a someone to follow or look up to get advice. So I had to learn the hard way. I think I stopped telling young kids to save. I'm like, save kore ki korba? Tumi jodi first job pao, what you earn, if you try to save that, koto ar save korte parba? It won't be life-changing money. a lot of advice is save karo, but at a 20-year-old, 21-year-old graduate, কত বেতন পাবে আর কত আর সেভ করবে ওখানে, সেভ করে করবে কি ওই টাকা দিয়ে, right?
Right.
You're not going to be able to do anything materially damaged. Instead, invest. যা পারো ছোট ছোট এটা করে, সেভ না করে ইনভেস্ট করো. You know, one third, spend save, instead of saving one third, invest one third. Spend one third, enjoy your life, because we might not get these years back. Like Rosina said, যে ওই 10, আমি যে 10 বছর কষ্ট করে সেভ করে, I know people, actually I know some individual I know in my very vicinity that all he did was save and had a great job, but save করে একটা বাড়ি কিনছে. But ওই 10 বছর যে ও যে কষ্টটা করছে, it's not worth it.
Right.
So I think I'll tell my 20-year-old self that if you have money spare, invest. If you don't have money spare, okay, save at a certain time when you need it, right? You'll have enough disposable income at a certain point that saving will matter. এখন সেভ করে কষ্ট করে কফি না খেয়ে, একটা কফি খেয়ে, একটা মিল খেয়ে সেভ করে, it's not worth it.
Right. All right, Rosina, এখন আমরা let's go into the hard stuff, the business. So Arogga হচ্ছে তোমাদের স্টার্টআপ, এবং আমরা জানি যে তোমরা কোভিড এর সময়টা স্টার্ট করেছো। সো এই জার্নিটা কিভাবে শুরু হলো সেটা একটু যদি আমাদের একটা ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড দাও।
Yeah, so it's a bit of a funny story because we were actually just looking to invest in the Bangladesh startup ecosystem, and this was over COVID, where the whole world was in lockdown, no flights coming in and out, and we were just stuck at home. And one of Yawar's friends, who's actually from Falcon Network, was just saying, guys, Bangladesh is an exciting place. What are you guys doing? Look into it. You know, even if you don't invest, why don't you mentor? So we started getting pitch decks through FAN and through Falcon Network, just to sort of see what was happening. And we actually have two other co-founders, Fahad and Shamim, who had started Arogga pre-December 2020 and had tried different business models. And they tried the pharmacy network model, but you couldn't guarantee authenticity. You didn't have control of the order. And then they tried the warehouse model in Chittagong, which really took off. And they were looking for investment. So that's how we came across their pitch deck. We saw their pitch deck, kind of was looking into the health space because we felt the health space in Bangladesh was somewhat untapped and very fragmented. So we thought having an impact in Bangladesh from the health angle was something that we were, you know, genuinely interested in. Pitch deck was okay, nothing life-changing, but we downloaded the app and was amazed that these two guys, well, Shamim, the CTO, our CTO, had thoughtfully planned such a user-friendly interface to order medicine. And not only could you order medicine, it was a source of vital information to find out about medicine, compare medicine, and it was cheaper. And it was something that could be delivered to your door. So we were very excited after we saw the app. And we approached them and said, you know, love what you're doing. You know, we're looking for new challenges ourselves. Would love to join you as two co-founders to come on board with you on a journey to really make this something. And that's how it really started. So we officially joined and relaunched the company properly in December 2020. Our first month's revenue was $6,000 USD only. And now we've just crossed over $500,000 of monthly revenue. So the traction has been pretty amazing. The journey has been pretty amazing.
Amazing.
So we're super excited.
So what made them, you know, on board you guys? Because obviously they started, and I'm sure there was a gap they realized because, you know, you guys are part of the co-founding team. So I'm sure there's a lot of people approach them also. So what was the chemistry, or what kind of the trigger for you guys to, you know, on board?
I think after we said that we were interested in their idea, we were able to talk about our skill sets, their skill sets, and what we all bring to the table individually. And I think those are quite clear. Like Fahad is just fantastically energized from an operational efficiency perspective. He will be the first person that brings robots into Bangladesh and have an autonomous warehouse. I'm telling you, it will be him that does it because he has that vision.
Right.
Shamim, from a technological standpoint perspective, very, very good. Yawar from a financial and strategy perspective, and me also from a strategy and investor relations perspective. I think we all knew that we had something that we could bring to the table, and we respected those skill sets and knew that it could be a very good team that worked together.
I think we understood that like a successful team is not just one person, and it's not you're not able to do it. I'm really sympathize with single founders that are running a big company, startup. That how are you doing it, right? There's so much going on, and we knew that আমাদের অনেক কিছু build করতে লাগবে না. It's not possible humanly for one person to kind of have oversight and do this. I always wanted, first of all, we need a good CTO as a founder, a solid CTO. We're a tech company. We can't do it without, part-time or a, co-invested or not very invested CTO. We need a founder CTO for a tech company. We have that. We have operations. We have finance. We have strategy. So Chardun Amra, together we're very strong. We're take care of each side. That's why I think we were able to come so far so quickly.
Right. No, I think the first ingredient is the team, right? And I think I have a question on that, the secret sauce. But আমার যেটা মনে হচ্ছে it's very apparent that I think that is a secret sauce, and because COVID time অনেক company এসেছে, especially head tech, right? Everybody trying to do something, but I think হাজার startup, not হাজার কয়েকশো startup শুধু health tech এসেছে, and I don't think even 99% have survived. So obviously you guys have done phenomenal on that side. So যখন তোমরা launch করলে, I'm sure there was aspiration and vision. What was the vision from you guys? Like what exactly you wanted to achieve? Say, at least একটা থাকে না 1 বছর বা 2 বছরের মধ্যে we want to be somewhere, or this is what we want to achieve. So সেটা কি ছিল?
আমি বলবো?
বলো।
আমি honestly বলবো,
আমার মনে হচ্ছে কি তোমার কোনো ধারণাই ছিল না. Don't say there was no plan. Just survive.
No, it was sort of like a spur of the moment আমাদের decision. I was very, I think Rosina, we both do things very quickly, decision করে, and we see an opportunity, go for it. But expectation বাড়ে ছিল, right? I think we were good enough to understand the opportunity, the people that required, and how to execute. প্রথমে I think we had the vision is same. It's simple, just online pharmacy হবো আমরা প্রথমে. We want to be the top online pharmacy, and then as we delved in, we were new to startup. আমরা নিজেও startup বুঝতাম, আমরা business করছি with SME business. The startup, the scaling and the quick and the fast growth, the pace of it, the key ingredient, it took us a while to understand. So we surprised ourselves, and we surprised ourselves with our capabilities. And, the vision was to become an online pharmacy. And 6 months into it, when we understood startups, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, our visions kind of started broadening. The more knowledge we gathered, we understood there's so much opportunity.
Right.
And at point it was like that we don't know what to do, but there's so many things we can do, and there's so many things that we can do, we're capable of doing. এখন আমরা যে the capabilities we are building, the e-commerce engine, the supply chain management, the customer facing user experience for specific to Bangladesh, the journey for it, the how integrated we are trying to build it, the engine. It's not just a health tech engine. It's a very powerful e-commerce engine that we're building. So the vision is kind of we can go anywhere, right, from this, but we're focusing on medicine, healthcare to build that core.
Okay. Cool. So এখন তো অনেক না হলেও কম বেশি কিছু তো কম্পিটিশন আছে. সো যদি একটা কনজিউমার সাইড থেকে যদি হয় যে হেলথ থেকে আমরা কেন আরোগ্য থেকে কিনবো, what would be your response? Like, why would you say that we are better? In what aspect?
I think we've always focused on the customer experience, the customer pain points, and technology. So the customer pain points is that when you get a prescription from a doctor, getting the medicine is actually quite difficult. The typical journey is to visit many different pharmacies, physical pharmacies. Even we were left work, so we forgot to pick up our order, and Yawar's mum really needed some medicine. We stopped off at 4 different phamarcies and we couldn't find the medicine that we needed. So that is a typical customer journey.
Right.
We came home without the medicine, went the next day, got the medicine. So that's frustrating when you need medicine. So we provide 100% genuine medicine. There is a massive counterfeit medicine problem in Bangladesh, with 20 to 30% of medicine actually being, fake, if that's
Right.
even in pharmacies. So because we work directly with the manufacturers and have great supply chain relationships with them, we are able to source the medicine very quickly, and we hold that in a warehouse, and we provide 100% genuine medicine delivered to your door, so no need to visit multiple pharmacies, and then it's 10% cheaper. And in a market where you have to pay for your own medication, that's a very key USP in a price sensitive market.
Right. I did order just to test the experience, and I would say that it was a very simple, experience. And then when I got the packaging, it was fantastic. On top of that, I think as the first buy, you get a discount, free delivery. So it was a great experience. So I will vouch for that. I'll vouch for that.
Awesome.
So এখন তো একটা comfortable or confidence place এ চলে আসছো, but প্রথমে what was the challenges, what was the biggest challenge you were facing when you were just starting off? I know that you mentioned about trying to know about the growing fast and the startup culture, but beyond that, what was business side of the challenge?
We had like any startup, প্রথমে I'll say start from the very the biggest first challenge was getting medicine. So we couldn't get just order medicine because no one understands what an online pharmacy is. আমাদের Bangladesh is very uniquely placed where আমাদের কোনো distribution or wholesale market now. Wholesale আছে, which is your shadow wholesale market, which is where the counterfeit medicines you kind of generate. So প্রত্যেকটা pharmaceutical company has their own distribution to your retail pharmacy. And আপনি তখনই মেডিসিন নিতে পারবেন যখন আপনার লাইসেন্স আছে. You have a shop, that front shop, you can get medicine. So rep shop with you. So আমরা নিখুঁজিনতে we had to get a shop to get medicine. We couldn't have a warehouse বাসার মধ্যে কোথাও to get access to medicine. So shop আমরা ভাড়া করে, প্রথম shop ছিল 300 square feet একটা দোকান, ওখানে শাটার সবসময় বন্ধ থাকতো। সো বাকি দোকানদাররা বুঝতেন এটা কি করতেছে, এটা কি বিজনেস করতেছে, শাটার বন্ধ করে, হ্যাঁ কি জিনিস করতেছে, মেডিসিন আসতেছে, মেডিসিন যাচ্ছে কই, মোটরসাইকেল থেকে করে লোকজন নিয়ে যেতেছে, কি হচ্ছে বুঝতেছে না। So we started so that was the challenge, actually getting to pharmaceutical companies to understand what we're doing. And now we have a different story, but তখন we had to chase to get the stock right. ওইটা business challenge ছিল, figuring out delivery times, operational excellence in how to best practice, how to best process a product through your warehouse. They're all learning curves, all internet research, talking to millions of people. আমাদের নিজে brainstorming to figure it out. Managing, getting people trained to do warehouse delivery, customer service, shopping, all these challenges that you have to pick up fresh people and train them, and they train others, and so on. So all these, building something from ground up was a big challenge. এখন we are at a stage where we have 230 plus people in operations, and আরেকটা challenge we're facing where এত mass ভাবে knowledge share করতে quickly করা যায় কেমনে. So every step there's a different kind of challenge at different stages.
Right.
So we're kind of going through that now, and I think we'll forever be going through that as a startup.
Right. Interesting. So no growth, take a managing growth.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So এখন তো তোমরা বলছো 3 বছর হয়ে গেছে. So can you share, maybe Rosina, you can share what is the traction like, so at least মানুষ বুঝতে পারে স্কেলটা কোথায় এসেছো, মানে মেবি কন্ট্রাস্ট করতে পারো যে প্রথম বছরের versus after 3 years তোমরা কিভাবে অপারেশনে ট্রাকশন আছে.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the first month when we launched, which was in December 2020, there was $6,000 of revenue. And then the month just gone by in September, we did over $500,000 of revenue. So the traction has been significantly fast. I think because there is no good alternative. We've delivered over 11 million genuine medicines across the whole of Bangladesh. So we don't just deliver in Dhaka. We do, I think 20 to 30% of our orders are actually outside of Dhaka. And 80%.
People order outside of Dhaka.
Yes, they do. And it's all prepaid medicine. So it's not cash on delivery. So these are people who definitely need medicine.
And is it because they don't get it there, or is it authenticity?
I think it's a bit of both. The number one feedback that we get from our customers is that they're actually able to find the medicine on our platform. So that is the main thing, the availability of medicine and the variation of medicine. There's so many different brands, different sub-brands, different variations of medicine strengths and all that kind of stuff. And we do our best to have the best availability, which is our number one strength, I think. People are always telling us, I found it on the Arogga platform.
Right.
So I think for people outside of Dhaka, the stress of trying to find medicine, which is probably even worse than inside of Dhaka, they want a reliable service. It might take a little longer to get the medication, but it's a guaranteed service where it's genuine and it's still cheaper for them and hassle free. So the benefits of it weighs the disadvantages of them trying to find it in their local vicinity.
So 80% of our revenue actually comes from retained customers. So you can understand how vital or how good, how life-changing it is for some people. We actually get blessings from people because you're a remote part of a Bangladesh where আপনি একটা medicine কিনতে হলে, if you're diabetic or if you're a heart patient, you have to go to a nearby town, take 2 buses, 3 buses, make a whole day out of it, right? And go to a female pharmacy and return, while you're getting the same service delivered to your home, cheaper and for free. So it's amazing, right, for someone.
It is. I mean, তোমরা আমাকে বলেছিলে যে you guys are mostly growing organic, right? Because you're not paying, any paid media. So এই অজ পারাগার থেকে মানুষজন জানছে কিভাবে এবং অর্ডার কিভাবে করছে? Because তোমরা তো আর যাচ্ছ না ওদের কাছে, ওরা আসছে. So what is the magic?
I think it is largely word of mouth. So when one family member uses it, our family units are so big, it just spreads down. So, and I think when the availability of medicine is a real big push. So just an example, when there was COVID in Dhaka, we were the only platform that had the test kits. So this was spread all over Instagram without us even knowing about it. And there's a spike in that January, February month of that year. And investors always ask us, what happened? Do that again. And I'm like, we were the only ones that had the test kit. So again, it's the power of just word of mouth. Is basically what has worked for us. We do have a targeted strategic marketing plan that we do plan to roll out towards the end of this year and next year. But yes, I think the alternative is a hassle, visiting many different pharmacies or using another platform that doesn't have the medicine. We are providing for all of these problems that people have. So it's why the platform tends to be quite sticky, and 80% of the revenue is repeat.
It is nothing but good service. Just saying, when someone say you should provide a good service to, just providing a good service is so difficult. It's not just, it's something that you action and it happens. It's everything. It's customer service, operation, it's supply chain. Everything has to be fluid when you order from us, for you to get that 3-4 different medicine. There's so many things have to be happening fluidly at the background for you to reach you. So to have those done, to provide that good service, is what I think helps. Spread word of mouth. সবাই জানে যে Arogga medicine করলে you'll get it nicely packed, delivered genuine medicine at your doorstep.
So I mean, আমরা খুব slightly touch করেছি, but if I again ask the question, like অনেক company start করেছিল কোভিডের সময়, especially health tech, but not many survived. So why do you think is the case, and how do you think you guys kind of overcame that, the cruel destiny of life?
I think if I start and then Yawar can just add to it afterwards, I think we were very focused. Yawar touched on this before, that there's so much we can do. There's so many things to solve in the health tech space, but we were very focused on just doing B2C medicine delivery brilliantly. We were a very small team for a very long time. We had a remote tech team of maybe 6 or 7 people for the longest time. And we were building all this tech with people all over Bangladesh working from home remotely. We've only now become like the big company that we are now, but we really focused on operations. Like we really focused on how to do one thing really well. We were thinking about doctor consultations. We were thinking about all these other services that were complementary, but we didn't waver our focus. There was a point where we were thinking, right, doctor consultation, let's do it. Let's build the tech. Let's speak to the people that we need to speak to. But we actually just decided to just focus on one thing and doing that one thing really well. And I think that is how we have been able to be so successful and win this market so well, because it has been that constant improvement from an operations perspective, from a customer service perspective, from a tech perspective, that we have ensured that just the B2C delivery of medicine is as good as it possibly can be. And I think that focus is really important for a startup. It's all good and well to try do everything and solve for everything, but I think that takes away your focus, and you have you have a certain amount of capital. And I think when you focus on one thing, improving the market and using that capital efficiently, I think that's really important at the initial stages of a startup, to really be able to prove what you're doing well.
I would add that, 100% agree with Rosina. That's what we did it. Also, I think আমাদের একটা strategy ছিল যে tech first. Lot of what happens in the emerging markets, labor is very cheap. So instead of investing in tech, instead of going through the grueling process of finding the right people, building the tech, we throw money at people to solve the problem. Warehouse, instead of having a good tech that kind of manages your warehouse, you throw people at it to manage it. So what happens when you're scaling? You can't do that with a lot of people. You can't keep throwing people at a shelf. You can't throw 10 people to attack one shelf. You have to kind of sort it through digitally. You can have to have a digital map of your warehouse and how efficiently you can pick things up, rather than sending 10 people to one shelf to pick 10 different items up. So we kind of understood that very early on and kind of invested in tech. We hired remotely. We couldn't hire Dhaka থেকে, because Dhaka tech was expensive. So আমরা খুলনা, যশোর এখান থেকে talent remotely hire for remote working environment create করছি. So kind of, I think that led us to being very efficient, using our capital very efficiently. We didn't have a high burn. We raised money, প্রথমে $220,000, which was very difficult at first. Then 1.3, all that. I think even after we raised the 1.3 seed round, which actually ended up being 1.6 for others coming in, we didn't go ahead and just massively just buy everything and, be a bit massive. We still were remote for a while, until like 8 months later, we thought that this is the right time to bring everyone together and start, Arogga office. So we figured we kind of hustle like we broke. This is a term actually Rosina uses a lot. Hustle like we're broke, right? Taka thakle, it's now, we still hustle that we're broke. We are actually broke and we hustle all the time. And that was, I think, the ingredient that I think differentiate from any other health tech startup or anywhere else, that we kind of was tech focused first.
I think that last... Go ahead.
Yeah, So after the Bangladesh Startup Summit, we actually had a VC come visit our offices, and they were so surprised that with only 1.6 to 1.8, I think the final number was, with a seed bit of funding, they were so surprised that we were set up the way we were set up. And they said, we visit companies all over the globe, especially in India, which is so, far ahead of Bangladesh from a tech perspective. And you guys are set up like a Series A, Series B company. And I think that was just like the best bit of feedback that we could have got, to know that we're still using our capital so efficiently to be able to demonstrate that we're able to grow and scale with this small amount of capital.
আমি যেটা বলছিলাম যে I think the last bit যে সেগমেন্টটা তোমরা কভার করলে, I think tremendously important I would say advice, because these are the most common I would say mistakes I see often founders are making in Bangladesh. I'm sure they do it all over the world, but Bangladesh a ব্যাপারটা I think it's most common is like trying to do too many things and not focusing on the single thing, but being excellent in that. And obviously you talked about other stuff, but I think if people wants to watch this podcast, I think that last 5 minutes, I think it's golden. So great. আমরা লাস্টের দিকে চলে আসছি। সো তোমরা যেহেতু আছো বাংলাদেশে এবং হেলথ টেক নিয়ে কাজ করছো এবং you have not only the domain expertise now, but তোমাদের কাছে ডেটা আছে, এবং একটা ডেটার একটা পাওয়ার যেটা আছে যে you can also predict করা যায়, right? ডেটা দেখে, because you see how things are moving, right? যেটা হয়তো বা even if you're long time in the business or industry, and if you're not analyzing data, they might not know the insights purely because they are not really digging into the data, but you do. So সেই point থেকে where do you see Bangladesh's health tech moving towards? Like what kind of health tech solution do you think will come up based on the current trend?
Okay, I think so far we're collecting a lot of data. Yeah, absolutely. I think after we've had a conversation a few weeks ago or months ago when we came over. The amount of data we're collecting gigs and gigs of data. We actually even don't know exactly how we're going to use this data, but what we are the trends we're trying to see, that we can actually start predicting there's some disease is spreading, some endemic is likely to take place, something. We can see that the flow of medicine that's coming in, the consultation, when we introduce Dr. Ponce, we can see what people are ringing about, right? In the future, we want to introduce IoT devices where we can do monitoring as well. That's all hooked up to your app. These are way in the future, but data will play a very strong part in the future of health management. Preventive, rather than reactive healthcare management. So, we're in a mode of watch and collect and kind of observe ki kora jai. We're seeing trends, and our stock prediction and the future, all the prediction that we have is based on historic and current data, and we do a predictive model. But we kind of looking for data scientists and employing data scientists to do that kind of further analysis, where we can use the data for other things, for commercial elements as well as helping the government, working with the government to kind of, and NGOs and, World Food Organization and others who can use our data. We can work collaboratively on a lot of things.
I was thinking, I don't know if you know, Facebook একটা group আছে, traffic alert. ওই ট্রাফিক নিয়ে ওরা মাঝে মাঝে অ্যালার্ট দেয়। সো আই থিঙ্ক ওয়ান অফ দি লাস্ট টাইম কনভারসেশন বলছিলে যে ইউ গাইজ নো লাইক ঢাকার কোন জায়গায় কোন ডিজিজ হচ্ছে বিকজ জাস্ট পিওরলি বিকজ অফ হোয়াট পিপল আর বাইং। সো ইভেন দ্যাট কাইন্ড অফ অ্যালার্ট ক্যান মেক পিপল অ্যাওয়ার, লাইক হোয়াট এখানে হচ্ছে ডেঙ্গু বাড়ছে বা এখানে আই ডোন্ট নো ডিসেন্ট্রি হচ্ছে বা হোয়াটএভার। সো ইভেন দ্যাট কাইন্ড অফ ইনফরমেশন অ্যালার্ট, লাইক জাস্ট going from your platform, people will be more aware. And they can take preventive measure. I think especially, for example, what's going on with dengue around in Bangladesh right now.
Absolutely. We can just pull it. Dhaka kuthay dengue on the rise. We can see with the dengue medicine. Kuthay COVID is on the rise, where with mask kintase karagoto, COVID test kintase. So we can do that. We can send out alerts. Absolutely. You can work with maybe a newspaper or something to send out, Facebook, social media alerts. So many things we can do. See, new ideas, right? Coming every day.
Right. Now, I encourage for China because I want to focus on the delivery. So I'm just saying that the power, it's just that we haven't actually gone to that point where, as you said, that you can really dig into the data and then do a lot of, fantastic stuff. But I think that scale যখন হবে, I think we will see like real disruption, because for example বিকাশের কামালের সাথে কথা বলছিলাম, and he was saying that the amount of data that they real time they see, they can actually see how money is moving in Bangladesh, and the regulator doesn't even have that kind of millisecond kind of insights. And I think that the kind of stuff that you will probably have, say, in next 1 to 2 years, when you have that footprint all over Bangladesh, and see how disease is spreading or what is happening with health in Bangladesh. Probably will have a massive data center where you can see real time things are going up and down, right?
So many dreams.
Exciting. Inshallah.
One thing I would say as a founder that I wish we did sooner was invest in our data team sooner. I think we just were so focused on operations and a good level of customer service. There's so much stuff that we found out now that we simply have a team of data scientists looking at our data. And it's as simple as things like, oh, why are we doing this? And why did we know this before? And the simple answer is no one was looking at the data. No one was analyzing the data. And I think data is actually so important for scale. And if I did it all over again, a data team would probably be crucial at the near to the very start. We didn't get a data team in for ages. We used third parties. They would do some stuff and then they'd leave. No one was really looking after dashboards and stuff like that. But now we have this kick-ass data team that is constantly feeding into us, telling us, that's so important for scale. So data is super important. Really, really
awesome.
important.
I'm happy to know that you guys are, working with data. Fantastic. All right. Now, on the more, happier note, congratulations. You recently raised fund. So, to bolba je, a bit of that part, like how much have you raised? What is the plan? And where you want to, use this money? Where do you want to go with this? Bolo.
So we're super excited that after almost a year of fundraising, we have closed a round of over $4 million. And it has been nothing short of a miracle and super tough, especially in this economic climate. But we're really excited that, investors are still very bullish on the Bangladeshi market. And they have belief in our model and what we're trying to do with Arogga in the health space. But yeah, super excited that we've raised this money and, we'll use it to really fuel our growth over the next 12 to 18 months.
Okay. So what is the plan? মানে কোন দিকে তোমরা এখন ফোকাস করবে? Because তোমরা একটা, for example, বলেছো যে ফোকাস ছিল delivery, you're looking into data. So what is the next phase of growth যেটা fuel হিসেবে use হবে?
So we are going to be rolling out our lab testing solutions. The tech is just finalized and we're going through some final testing there. And we are also looking to expand our medicine delivery service offering by building 2 further hubs, one in Chittagong and one in another location that we're still trying to strategically figure out. So we'll have a better geographical spread across the whole of Dhaka to do more efficient deliveries. So that is really the key sort of plan to scale from a B2C perspective, and then add on these other services like lab testing.
Lab testing sorry, your তুমি বলো। না তুমি বলো।
Sorry, I just want to add, we're just also the healthcare and beauty is a section that we're expanding. We had a small section, we're also expanding in there. Also, we are looking into expanding to veterinary for, if you have cats and dogs, medicine for them. So that is a section that's coming as well for us.
Okay. So, what was the toughest challenge? A climate যখন তোমরা raise করছিলে, what was the biggest challenge you faced for, say founders who are maybe currently raising, তাদের জন্য if you have some advice?
I think it was it's just timing. It's just everything is so slow and such a long process. There is capital definitely out there. There is interest in Bangladesh. We are starting to become, noticed a little bit more. But for example, 2 of the VCs in this round have invested in a Bangladeshi company for the first time, and we are that investment. So the convincing, their the convincing that we have to do as founders about our business model and also the geography is so much more than a market that they have already invested in.
Right.
One of the VCs actually said, "Oh, we only invest in American companies, just letting you know."
Right.
But I had to have a chat. And I'm just like, "Oh no." But they came on board. So that's brilliant.
Right.
And they're an awesome VC. I absolutely love them. But yeah, the timing has been something that founders need to stay very determined and resilient over. Our last round of funding last year, we probably closed in a week. Money was coming in. We were oversubscribed. We were turning money away, saying we don't need it. While this year is just like dire. And I think it's really hard to stay motivated as a founder sometimes when things are taking so much time, which could then just end up leading to a no. And some of these kind of like meetings that you're having with these VCs or investors that are interested, they are sometimes 8, 9, 10 meetings long. And there's loads of emails and there's loads of due diligence. The level of due diligence that we went through this round was so deep and detailed. It was quite surprising. So I think founders need to stay positive and resilient, that there is money out there, but you just have to work so much more harder for it, coming from an emerging market.
My advice will really don't fundraise. Just Corona. Just easy. Forget about it. Easy, just forget about it. I'm just kidding. No, it was difficult. It was very difficult. I think one of the toughest few months we have seen so far, just fundraising, starting from January. Amader Bangladesh, fundraising in this climate is difficult anyway. In all over any part of the world, fundraising is just crazy right now. Tarpore, in something called e-commerce. Tarpore, in a geography called Bangladesh. No one knows. Hardly anyone. Everyone's hearing about Bangladesh, interesting market, connect noise hoche, but who's invest? The last K invest korche. Look around, other cohort keu invest korene. So to get them from, like Rosina Mazumder, one of our key investors, a term, from get them to first call level, we don't even know what Bangladesh is. We never invested in that part. 2, then go through 2-3 months of due diligence, calls after calls, getting them selling Bangladesh economy, future GDP growth, a whole shebang story, proving the market with data, koto kichu, to get them to then saying, here's some money, right? And it's been tough. It's been extremely tough. I think for anyone out there fundraising, money is out there, but just be prepared for how long it takes. Start early. Absolutely start early. Jodi mone koro tomar 10 months runway ase, you start like 15 months before. You don't. This is just taking too long. People are investing because there's capital to be invested. You will have capital to invest, but they're just being too careful. You need to have a profit story. You need to have a margin story. You need to have a revenue story. You have to have a growth plan, solid growth plan, and resilience. Prepared to be said no after like 10 meetings. They'll say no. When you think it's going well, you think that it's a done deal. A no suddenly comes through.
No, I mean, again, another fantastic advice. And I think people who are watching, they will take note of that. And last question. So 2023, শেষ হয়ে যাচ্ছে. In next 3 years, where do you want to be? Like very ambitious যদি বলতে হয় যে really doing something that probably you have not thought about doing. What would that be?
I think where we're seeing a lot of opportunities, just not in health tech. We're talking 3 years from now. We're building, again, very focused in health tech, online medicine, lab testing. We'll go into telemedicine. Maybe we'll see in what time we will go in, but when we go in, we'll time it well. We want to become this all-encompassing platform যে আপনি সেখানে ডক্টর কনসাল্ট দিতে পারবেন, ডক্টর কস্টেল নিয়ে এসে either ল্যাব টেস্ট দিতে পারবেন, ল্যাব টেস্টিং করে এসে মেডিসিন কিনতে পারবেন, আবার ফিও ডক্টর কাছে যেতে পারবেন। You can have an ecosystem of this happening for your primary care. We want to be that, and we want to be more than that. And আমাদের opportunities are kind of coming in different shapes and forms. Like we are bringing this in the most efficient logistic platform for small items, moving small items in Bangladesh. We're kind of building that capabilities. So originally we can do other things. We can use that platform for other things as well. We have the tech, the e-commerce engine, we're calling it, that everything we have is in-house. The customer service screen থেকে নিয়ে আমাদের HR portal, everything is integrated. We're building everything in-house. আমরা not buying off the shelves, because how many warehouse workers are off affects, everything, how I manage my warehouse. How many drivers are available affects how I manage my orders. So everything is connected. So we have to build everything connected. So we can do other things. So there's a lot of things we are seeing horizon opening as we are getting involved. But focus for the next 3 years is to kind of win the market, prove that we are right. Jamra je predict kursi, we can do this, prove to ourselves that we can actually achieve and get there.
Okay. The summary, health and the core is tech combined, win the market. Inshallah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Inshallah.
Great Adda. I'm sure, jara dekheche amader podcast, they will learn a lot about health tech in general, and also a founder's typical journey and the challenges they face. They can also take some advices from the advice that you have shared today. So really, really appreciate both Rosina and Yawar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mustafizur. Bye.
Bye. Woo.